Alright, hi everyone. It's Saucercats, and for today's stream, I thought I'd do something a little bit different here, and do a mission run through of Santos Connection, an attempt to answer the question, why Santos Connection? Why would you play this map? Why is this map different from all other maps? Alright, that's actually a good question. Why do people play it so much? Let's jump right in. There's a couple things that you're going to want to do every time you join any kind of mission. First thing is to turn off the radio. Second thing is to set the difficulty to hard. There's no other choice that you're going to want to make for that. Although here, it is, I would encourage you to get a whole team of 6 people. They can be randoms or not. If they're friends and you're also part of the same crew, you get bonuses to the amount of money and RP you get, at least RP. I have to check on that, but I know it gives you bonuses, so do it. But today we're doing it solo. Here we go. Unless the mission host is an idiot. You're always going to start in this location, and you're going to want to get on a vehicle as quick as possible. Often you'll note when you're playing with randoms that people will stay there and not move. These people are likely AFK and will remain AFK. It's good to just kick those people at the end of the mission if they're AFK. I mean, I like to play with people who are actually playing the game, yeah. Barring taking a bathroom break if it's necessary, of course. But just saying, leaving the game and just hanging on, not really playing, and or sitting in one place, driving to some location and just hanging out while other people do the mission is not something I would recommend doing. It's not behavior I would suggest you model your own behavior, although it does happen. Just being aware of what happens is just part of the battle, really. You're going to want to get into this truck and make sure you do not destroy this Granger. That's why I got off my oppressor. Actually wrote in my oppressor specifically to kind of showcase that I didn't go in missiles blazing. Because, well, it's too easy to blow up the Granger and then it's mission over. Literally mission over. There's no more. You fail. Done. And now everyone hates you. Now, as far as these dudes, we could totally get those guys, but we're not gonna. If we were with 6 people, those are good, good little guys to get. I mean, we're trying to rid the world of bad dudes, and those guys are like the epitome of bad dudes. You got the tattoo of bad dudes and everything. Do not do that. Oh, I didn't die. See, this is what I like actually about doing this live stream instead of making an actual video, is the crazy things that happen when you play this game are not recorded because you cut those parts out. This is actually like real world what it's like to play this game and how inconvenient it can sometimes be. Sometimes you can break these. Sometimes. Okay. I was actually super close to that explosion, although I didn't take any damage. Is it up here, or I don't think so. I think it's down there. Let's make sure. There it is. Alright, should be okay. There. Man, what a disaster that was. There we go. That woman on her phone, totally oblivious to what's going on. Alright. Continuing on. We're still 6 minutes in. I wouldn't call that good by any means. You can actually be finished with that Granger setup and all the way to this checkpoint without a whole lot of effort. Okay. Now this is a part actually that I do recommend if you're doing this with the oppressors, to climb up here to some high vantage point where those guys can't reach and use your rockets on them. Just each one at a time, killing each dude until there are no more dudes. And then we're going to go down there and trigger that yellow checkpoint, and like one set of cars, a couple set of cars will come after that, blow those guys up, and then we can go down to the laptop. Now these guys on foot will climb up the mountain to come and shoot you. Just be aware of that. You see little red marks, you can get off the vehicle and shoot them directly. There's still a couple shooters. Kind of like wanting to preserve my ammo, which is why I'm doing this. Or not my ammo, the missiles. Kind of getting shot here. How foolish. Alright, well, I cannot die one more time. Right, one dude died. There's only one more dude. Mano y mano. No, two more. I meant two more. See that guy move? Did he know I had the reticule on him? Where is he? There he is.
No way!
Alright. No, we're not done, actually. I think there's more dudes. So, you know, just don't think you're done there. There were two things that we were doing there. We were both killing those last two dudes and triggering the checkpoint. After you trigger the checkpoint, then guys in vehicles come. And if you're doing this oppressor way, you want to retreat. I missed with that, actually. You're going to want to retreat and then get them from up on top of the hill. think actually their pathing got a little bit messed up and they don't know how to reach me. Or else they're using some really circuitous route to get to me. Okay, here they come. Okay, still guys behind me. That might be it. There might be one more. Is there? Pretty sure that's it. Let's try to do this part quickly. There's two things you want to do here. First is, there's $1,000 in here. If you see our current money status, we're at 3,000. Now we have 4. That makes sense. Okay, good. Let's try to hack the laptop as quickly as possible. First, my computer external. Hack. 9762. There it is. It's easier when you're doing it yourself rather than watching. Here's brute force. Easy. I hope GTA 6 has harder hackings to do, because to be honest this is pretty easy. And then run the third one and we're done. If there aren't dudes shooting at you, that's generally very easy to do. Okay, so you want to exit as soon as possible. Guys will drive up and shoot you. You're also going to meet guys on the way to the airport. So let's head out now. If you're doing this solo on the oppressor, I would generally suggest to just do whatever strategy you'd like. Either you can blow them up and then use another vehicle when you get to the airport, or you can conserve your rockets for when you get to the airport. There's a few targets that you may want to use the rockets on the oppressor to get. I don't actually concern myself too much with exactly where I'm going. I think with the oppressor, if you're going in the general direction, you can use landmarks to sort of coax your way to the right location. Get through there. So. Alright, sorry, there's already our first target is right here. Yes, this stupid jet. Destroy it. It's really comically difficult to do. Hit its landing gear, there you go. Next target is immediately kill this thing over here. You have to. Don't leave it for later. 2 missiles do it, and it's done. Okay, at this point you're going to want to ditch the oppressor. I don't mean literally destroy it, ditch. I just mean gently park it. Set the kickstand. Invisible kickstand. And use this buzzard. If you're in some other vehicle that is not an oppressor and you don't actually need that buzzard, destroy it. There are 2 other buzzards over here that are not, they're much easier to manage. These buzzards over here can and will be used by NPCs if you let them. Take care here at this point to restrict access to the outside airport area. Try to keep all the enemies inside the hangar in defensive positions. Don't let them escape. If they do get out, pull back hard on the copter before you launch, and then launch your missile. And the missile will arc up high and then come straight down. And it generally is better for the ground targets. Okay, there's two more guys, or one more guy on top of that area inside. You do want to take care of those guys. That's one. Don't leave them off for when you're outside of the helicopter. NPCs making good use of cover. Is there still an enemy up there? I don't think so. I think an earlier rocket got the first guy and then you saw what happened to the second guy. Alright, generally you're safe at this point. There's no more enemies and you can collect the this money here. Look how much cash we're collecting. Now you can see we're at 10,000. It's a nice amount of cash to get in game. I wonder if there was a 2,000. Oops. Okay, here, this is a good example. I'm actually glad that that guy ripped off the helicopter. So you guys can see what happens if you let one of those helicopters out and you forget or miss one of the last NPCs. This is actually a potentially disastrous situation. Okay. Thing you gotta do is relax. Then, oops, didn't do that right. Come on, honey. Can you put down your glasses? Do I have to stand up? I don't want to stand up. Is he just hanging out above, or I don't see him actually. Actually, that did kind of help. Okay. Well, that was kind of a worst case scenario there. Glad we made it through. So I was going to say, I'm wondering if there was $2,000 that was part of the like good behavior bonus that like just happened to happen, and I'll have to review the footage to make sure. So there might be an errant $2,000 in that $10,000, but you should at least get $8,000 in cash on this mission. Let's point that out. And whatever cash that you pick up off the dudes if you happen to do that. So I just wanted to mention the types of vehicles that you want to take on this kind of mission are any of the weaponized vehicles like the weaponized Tampa, even the Dune FAV, the APC, the Custom Insurgent. Obviously the Oppressor is a good choice. You can also take Hydras or use Hydras, and Savage is probably the best. Your own Buzzard is a good choice, but Savage is probably the workhorse for this vehicle. If you ever plan on doing that, you can call a hangar version of it, or you can use Pegasus. Both are available on this mission. The only thing that you can't use is the MOC, pretty much. Clocking in just over 22 minutes. This has been Los Santos Connection. With a decent payout and a good amount of reputation points, it's a reasonable choice for missions if you do choose to do a mission. Let's get back into the session and do a little bit of post-mortem while we're in transit here. I wouldn't call that a typical mission, but there were parts that were typical. I don't usually see that buzzard. That's not usually an occurrence at the end unless you miss one of those guys. It's easy to miss them though. You know, there's a couple of locations on the outside of the hangar and on top of the hangar that those guys can hang out. I've also caught those guys hanging out in the back, the entire back part of the hangar, just up back there. You know, people don't play missions now that much nowadays. There's many other choices, and better choices actually, for making money, including VIP missions. But missions are still there, and they do have a lot of advantages. And when you're playing with more people, as I was mentioning before, you do get bonuses to the amount of money. It's not insignificant. Some of the bonuses can make the payout closer to 26,000. I've seen it that high. So you can imagine during the period where missions were paid out double, that they actually became then a very compelling way to make money. Also, unlike heists, you can actually die and recover, as evidenced by this demonstration. I did die once. It can happen. I wouldn't say that I'm an excellent player, but I'm a good player, and I do die. Although when I'm on my A game, it's not as frequent as It's not as frequent as when I haven't been playing that mission all that much. I think that during the double money period, those missions tended to become so popular that people were running them, over and over again, and the mission would have a certain rhythm to it, and And so people got to do them very quickly. But then again, you know, there's people that want to... I mean, the smart way is to complete them in 16 minutes so you get the maximal payout. But even so, there's a lot to do on missions, including killing bad dudes. You know, during the double RP and money events, it is double RP, so you're getting twice the amount of RP for killing those guys, and on missions that there are a lot of bad dudes, so that can rack up over time. Anyway, this mission is run on to the... We're in 25 minutes now. Trying to keep these streams a little bit shorter, because they are coming daily, and I just wanted to do this little showcase here, the Santos Connection. Why do it? I hope I answered part of the question, or you know, part of it, why you might do it, and some tactical approaches for, you know, using the oppressor. I generally recommend the oppressor for its speed, and you can get to the locations easy even if you're lagging behind. You can get to the next area, because sometimes when you're driving a slower vehicle, you get stuck at one of the 3 transition points, as I pointed out. You get stuck there and you can't make it in time to the next location, and by the time you get there, people are on to the 3rd. But the oppressor really lets you participate more in the action that's going on during the mission. Hey, tester place. So I'm going to actually cut the stream here, even though this is the first time I'm being watched. I'm going to do more of these, not going to just center on missions, but just do more of going through some of the stuff that's very common in GTA that you may not have been playing recently, but is just a showcase of that feature. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.